the relentless pursuit of power. You have to understand that what defines power is to be able to control something to a specific outcome. To have the power to control specific outcomes by taking necessary actions. So everyone wants to have the money. Everyone wants to have the girls. Everyone wants to have the respect. But what they don't want to have is their, personal empowerment to empower oneself beyond the limitations, beyond the addictions, beyond the mindless, indulgences that take away and don't add anything to your life. Success is straightforward. You remove everything that is taking away from your life, and then you surplus everything that adds to your life. And then you continue to walk the path, and as you walk the path will illuminate. Most of you guys can't give up what is hindering and taking away from your life. And if you can't give up what's taking away from your life, then there's a serious problem, and it's floating or being shoved under the carpet of your mind while you neglect the responsibility of empowering yourself. And so when we talk about the relentless pursuit of power, you are neglecting to empower yourself by controlling yourself to make necessary moves to coordinate and to correlate and to correspond yourself into specific outcomes, and to not be able to give up what is hindering you from attaining and ingraining and entraining yourself to maximize your capacity and to push beyond the threshold and the limit and to surpass who you are in the current moment, to become a better version of you for the future by taking the necessary steps in the present, to neglect that power and to render yourself powerless and to remain mentally inferior and to indulge into what's hindering you and keeping you inferior, and to stagnate in what's depleting you, and to recede and deplete and to excrete and absorb everything that is going to keep you sore and in pain, and just stay a fucking lame. And while you choose less, while you continue to deplete yourself, while you choose to remain powerless by not giving up what is taking away from your life, by not opening that notebook and writing down all your habits, what is adding and what is taking away, and to not move towards the direction of mastering your habits, thus mastering yourself. In the Bible, it says to master thyself, and you are rendered inferior if you are not a master of yourself. If you are not a master of your reality, then your reality is a master of you. And if your reality is a master of you, then don't question why you're unfulfilled and why you have to stagnate at a job you don't want to work and remain a subordinate slave. So we can talk about this, we can talk about that, and you can laugh it off, and you can use this as emotional motivation, and you can, take strife, you can pretend like, this is all about your development, and this is the move you're gonna make, and you're here to improve, and you're not here to protrude and maximize yourself, which that's the only reason I'm making this video, is for you to look in that mirror and to take actual accountability for that individual who's been neglecting who he is for this entire time. You've been neglecting your life. You've been neglecting who you are. You've been hiding from your pain. You've been letting your pain manifest out of you in these weird ways. You're addicted. You're indulging in things that are killing you actively. And then when it's brought up, you ignore the fact that you're actively killing yourself. And when we go into the metaphysical, because remember, I'm a master metaphysician, when we talk about the metaphysical intricacies of your mind and the interdynamics of motivation, and when you understand that motivation isn't a feeling you get from watching my video. Motivation is an intrinsic force to actively create. It is a universal influxion of generative energy to create specific movements to correspond to specific outcomes. So you don't need to be motivated to, give up your addictions. You're motivated to have addictions. So when they ask you, how do you stay so disciplined? What motivates you? I'm not, motivated to be disciplined. Okay. So when we look at the intricate dynamics of motivation, okay, I'm going to break this down for you. If you haven't checked out my video on the intricate, dynamics and metaphysical, dynamics of motivation, understand that motivation is basically a generative force, and within that generative force is a force of momentum, and within that force of momentum are emotional triggers. So why do you stay so disciplined? Because I have reasons that, trigger certain emotional triggers that send out currents in my mind with attached to certain impulses. So if you have a emotional trigger to hit a vape, or an emotional trigger to stay addicted and to not take a responsibility and accountability for your life, maybe something fucked up in your life happened to you, and now you have this reason that is motivating you to stay addicted, that is motivating you to stay unmotivated, and that is motivating you to stay low level and to stay mentally inferior and to stagnate in what's killing you, which is the addictions, which is that act of death that you choose by neglecting the responsibility of confronting those reasons and then transforming them into the reasons to be disciplined, to stay motivated. So the reasons that you ask me why I'm so motivated, I'm not motivated. I'm motivated because motivation is a generative force, but to that emotional, I'm gonna watch a YouTube video and feel motivated to go to the gym. I'm not motivated like that. Like, as a generative force of momentum that sends out currents in your mind through underlying reasons, which is the interdynamics and mechanisms of your mind to act on certain impulses in your mind to correspond yourself to certain movements in the universe to create specific outcomes. So when you hit that vape, you are motivated to a specific outcome, and that outcome is death. And so when I tell you to, quit your addiction, when I tell you to get on the program and to let me help you to further your development, because if you're willing development, if you're watching this video, if you made it that far, you are making moves to be a better person. You want to be better. You're willing it, but you can't walk two paths at once. You have to choose. It's either the addictions. You can't say that you're going to be developing and you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're going to love yourself and you're going to, make moves to be a certain individual and to create a certain reality in that best image of yourself, and to become a mastermind and to master thyself and to intercept and introspect and introspect within yourself to perfect who you are, to become the magnus opus and to become the opulence that you're supposed to reflect, divine coherency on a quantum physical level, to reflect divinity in your ways of moving, in your momentum of being. In ontologically, when we look at the ontological, reactions, the compulsions within you, are you, being compulsed and imposed to react to certain immediate gratifications that is really just depleting you and killing you? Or are you really willing to take a deep dive into yourself and to introspect and to pull out that journal, to write down your habits and to see what is taking away from your life, what you're providing to yourself, to put a circumstantial circumference on your own mind and to further limit your existence when all humans want is freedom, to neglect the responsibility of attaining that freedom and to dwell in the stagnation of limitation, procrastination, and then to hesitate to make the move and remain hesitant and to never actually get to that level where you can say, okay, I've grown this much. And you can say you've grown and you can say that you conquered and now you sit at the throne, and you can pretend to be the king, and you can call yourself that, and you can feel like the king. But if your habits are displaying an individual who can't even control themselves, if you say you change but you still have the same habits, if you say you have been growing but you still indulge in the same things, you haven't grown, you've remained dull, and matter of fact, you're inferior, and your brain within your skull is really just inferior. So you're either going to become maximum imperium by maximizing yourself in every metric of existence, which is broad, and to take that challenge upon yourself to ensure that you don't, take this one life you get for granted and to stagnate into nothing and to fizzle out when you could have became a bonfire to light up and to give heat and warmth to all of those who are cold in the abyss. Because you have to understand that to not be enlightened is to be you're being a liability for yourself, and if you're a liability for yourself, you're a liability for everyone around you. So while you complain and entrain to stay a bitch, while you try to neglect the responsibility of having to make that move to quit the addictions, to get into the gym and get fit, you're now a liability to everyone around you. So when your younger sibling is motivated to kill themselves through addictions unconsciously, because this is a metaphysical thing, right? This is not something you're going to look at with your two eyes. No, this takes discernible, deductible intelligence. This takes a genius level of comprehension. This is a different level of intelligence. This is absolutism. This is genius. Absolutely. And once you get to that level, you can see the path that everyone is making for themselves. And are you going to align with the people who will enlighten your path to get you to where you need to go and get you to where you want to be, and to not have this subordinate lifestyle? Remember the word subordinated, right? You're not just a subordinate slave. You have subordinated from your path that you were supposed to walk, because you never took the risk to walk that path. And so let me enlighten your path as you walk it, because to walk that path in the abyss alone, you'll get lost very easily and you might not find your way back. So get the candle, get the torch, and become the flame to master your reality. Now, links in the description, mindset coaching. Links in the description, development community. Check it out. Don't cap yourself. Go and learn. Use me as a tool to maximize yourself and to expedite and to increase your existential proliferation to a higher level of ontologically be, and to see what I speak, instead of use me as emotional motivation, which will get you nowhere. Peace.